Hey, what's happening, Yasharala? Shalawam to all my brothers and sisters in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Today's lesson is going to be on the bed defiled. As you see in the slideshow, we see that it is definitely a dysfunction amongst Jacob. Granted, there's always been a wicked portion of our people, which is why we was put into slavery in the first place and scattered amongst the four corners of the world. But even to this day, there's wicked men amongst our people still, and wicked women, and a lot of it roots to the way in which they were created, because the Most High has set up a particular righteous order, which was a guideline and a covenant as well for us as his people and how we should live. And in following this guideline, we were essentially promised blessings for obedience, which is essentially a state of power and prosperity. But as we know, in the so-called black community, which is truly the Israelite community, in all truth, we at the bottom of the totem pole. It's getting crazy. We in these last days, and this truth must proceed. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this lesson and hopefully shed some light on why this is the case. Our young daughters is whores. Our young men are sodomites. Our women are out of pocket. Out of all the families and nations in the world, it is the seed of Jacob, the nation of Yasharala, that is most afflicted, especially when it comes to the nuclear family. And it was all by design, under the infrastructure of Esau. Okay? Our people have been Edomized, has taken on the philosophies of Babylon, and therefore our people have been destroyed, lest they come back to their power, which is the law, statutes, and commandments and precepts of Yahweh, ahchyam, Yahweh Shah. But let's get into the bed defiled. This is going to go out to a lot of women. Okay? A lot of you women are going to get cut with this. But the truth will set you free. And this will also go out to a lot of men who are whoremongers and womanizers. The truth will set you free. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 1 through 6. Better it is to have no children and to have virtue, for the memorial thereof is immortal, because it is known with Yahweh and with men. When it is present, men take example at it, and when it is gone, they desire it. It weareth a crown, and triumpheth forever, having gotten the victory, striving for undefiled rewards. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips, nor lay any fast foundation. For though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not last, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of winds they shall be rooted out. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. Verse 6, for children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial. Okay, now let me go ahead and go on the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11 through 13. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed, she shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. Okay, so as we read, as I first read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 1 through 6, we know that children that come forth of the unlawful bed, children that come forth of adultery, children that come forth from fornication, children that come forth from pretty much what we see in the matriarchal aspects of Jacob now, because we must know that a lot of the children of Israel were born unlawfully, man. And we got to keep it real here. Some of these brothers got mothers done got impregnated after a long night in a club, at a hotel, the one night stand. Some jakes are born and conceived from the back seat of a car. Okay, this woman, and we've seen it time and time again over the last decade or two. I say 2 decades, you know, with the media, with Maury Povich, Ricky Lake, and they geared it toward the denigration of men. But what it also revealed was that a lot of these women didn't know who their damn baby fathers were. Coming back for the 9th, 10th, 11th time. And the point of conceiving a child is only in a limited amount of time. So a lot of these women were loose and running around. And if we go into the matriarchy of the so-called black community, which is primarily Jake, and these red zones, and these welfare establishments, and these projects, this 70% ran by single mothers. Many of the single mothers who have other children from the seed of other men. And Esau promotes this. Babylon promotes this. Edom promotes this. You know, but it is unlawful. Okay? We can go to verse 3 from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from bastard slips, nor lay any fast foundation. This is why these niggas ain't up to no good. You understand? I'm going to say niggas, because they don't conduct themselves into the law, statutes of the Most High, because it was never embedded in them, and they came from an unlawful bed through their mothers. You understand? And through their fathers, who may have been whoremongers. But you know, in the society we live in today, in Babylon, the woman more so has consent. She has consent, okay? So she has to take some accountability for this. And a lot of them have made children in the defiled bed, and basically your children ain't gonna be shit. This is why you have a lot of these children in the black community who are just into trouble. You understand? They never take root. They never lay foundation. This is spiritual law. Because the way in which they were conceived was defiled. And as verse 6 says, from Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4, for children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in their trial. You understand? And we all know we have to pay for the sins of our father. So a lot of these women are dealing with and we got to keep it real. A lot of our women like wicked jakes. You know, they call it the 80-20 rule. The 20% of the degenerate niggas amongst Israel are producing a lot of the children. This is why when you meet a 2/3 nigga, he typically has multiple children by different women. You know, this is why it is important and pertaining unto the law that a father gives his daughter off to marriage, because he would seek, and we're instructed to give our daughters off to a man of understanding, a man of the Lord. You know, because in all understanding and wisdom, you want the best for your grandchildren. And you know you're going to get the best for your grandchildren, be it that your son-in-law, whom you shall give your daughter unto, is a man of the Lord. You know that the children in the seed line will continue to be blessed, be it that they follow the law, statutes, and commandments in the order that Yahweh has set forth. Okay? Now I'm going to go back to what I just read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3. Okay? For whoso, this is verse 11 through 13. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable. A lot of jakes are miserable, man. And their hope is vain. Their labors unfruitful. And their works unprofitable. Okay? Because a lot of these jakes come up worshiping money. They worship material things. They don't consider Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. They want to be drug dealers. Okay? And a lot of them find themselves in the prison pipeline doing bids. Okay? Because they despise wisdom and nurture. They despise, essentially, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Because wisdom is derived from him. He's the giver of it. Okay? And their works are unprofitable. So Esau used TV programming to put these 2/3 lifestyle niggas on TV to have you lust after fame and fortune and worldly things. Then you try to emulate it, and some brothers make it. Really, no brothers make it if you try to get it like that, because even when you get risen high up, as we look back at the real Rick Ross and Rayful Edmonds and a lot of these guys who Esau used to bring crack cocaine into the black communities, you know, to turn our people out. They were millionaires, man. But where did their labors get them? Their labors unfruitful and their works unprofitable at the end of the day. Verse 12, their wives are foolish and their children wicked. Okay? Their offspring is cursed. Okay? A lot of these children are cursed, man. This is why we got to harden our hearts, especially in the days that we're in, being that Jacob's trouble is shortly approaching. Okay? A lot of Israelites, a lot of Jake is going to die. A lot of Jake is going to die because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is about to purge his house. Okay? And there'll be a righteous remnant left. The 1/3 and the 144,000 first fruits. Okay? Of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the elect. Okay? Who are going to help bring in the 1/3 during the time of Jacob's trouble and great tribulation. Okay? But these 2/3 niggas, their wives are foolish and their children are wicked. Okay? And their offspring is cursed. Okay? Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. For all you sisters, for the very few remnant of sisters who haven't had any children, okay? Might have an issue with your womb, not able to conceive. We look at Sarah, you know? She didn't have Isaac until she was in her 90s, man. So it happens. But if you have not known the sinful bed, if you have not been an adulteress, if you have not been a whore, slutting around, being a slore, like Esau wants you to be, because he puts up the perfect poster children for you to follow after, such as Cardi B and the likes of Beyonce. You know, if you stay true to what is expected of you as a real woman, as a real daughter of Zion, okay? And you're not defiling yourself sexually, you have not known the sinful bed, she shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. Okay? At the end of it all, when we are gathered from the four corners of the earth, okay? In the kingdom you will have children, as many as you want. And you shall be saved in childbearing. So best believe Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to open your womb up. And you're going to have them children that you really want. But it's going to be in righteousness. Okay? Now let's continue. Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. We know that this pertains to Esau, the so-called white man, and a lot of these Gentiles as well, but it also refers to Jacob. Okay? Then I just read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, verse 13, that their offspring is cursed. Okay? All the men who despise wisdom, their offsprings are cursed. Their wives is dumbasses. And a lot of our women are clamorous, you know. But, you know, specifically, a lot of these jakes, these 2/3 jakes, you know, their wives are foolish and their children wicked and their offspring is cursed. I just read that. And the wicked are estranged from the womb. Okay? Okay? Because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he's the Lord of spirits. He issues spirits to the flesh that be born. So these vessels that come into this world that are born from defiled beds and through various forms of fornication, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah puts the wicked spirit on it. More than likely, a regenerated spirit from the days of old, being a 2/3 from the past. Okay? Because everyone's back in their current lot. Daniel's back. Baruch is back. The prophets are back. As well as you 2/3. Okay? And I talked about that in previous videos. But I'll touch on that on another video. But I'm going to continue. In the spirit, hopefully you can receive that. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verses 16 through 19. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall there be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. For if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in a day of trial. For horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. We are in that unrighteous generation, brothers and sisters, if you may be listening. We in that time. You know, it was all a setup from Esau. You know, it's all in the hands of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, but his word is going out through his elect. He has set up fishers to fish for fellow elect, to seal the elect. Okay, so the word is out here. It has hit and it's hitting the four corners of the earth. It's on the news now. With CNN trying to do an expose on the house of Israel, you know. But as I just read in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, verse 16 through 19, the children of adulterers shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. This is why the life expectancy of Jacob, the sons of Jacob, is so low. These niggas getting gunned down in the street by police. Things are just bad. All bad. Okay? We at the bottom of the barrel. But Yahweh's going to make it right. But like I said earlier, he's going to purge the house of Israel. So we're going to see a lot of our people get cut off on this side, man. And you got to keep you can't have your heart on your sleeve. You got to have understanding of what's going on. Okay? Because a lot of these children, and even men who are coming in maturity from being children, from these matriarchal households, never learned the way. Okay? They never learned the way. They're lost. They're reprobate. They were born in vain. Okay? There are people who are born in vain. A lot of these bastard children are born in vain. Okay? It's the difference between a woman being a widow and a son and a child not having a father because his father passed away, versus, you know, a child not having a father because his mama was a hoe. And the mama don't even know who the damn daddy is. Or she do know who the daddy is. There was no solidifying relationship or nothing really there because she was sleeping with a bunch of 2/3 niggas who don't know how to be men themselves. So how much more so can it be a father? Because these were not men of understanding. For some odd reason, the daughters of Zion don't want men of understanding. Y'all like little Uzi Verts. Y'all like Tekashi 6ix9ines. Y'all like simple 2/3 niggas. So then you have your 2/3 nigga babies. And they are cursed, okay? And they are born in vain. And Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah have been putting them to death from the 80s through the 90s, even to this day. And he used Esau as his sword. Okay? Why? Because you hated the law of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. You rather took the philosophy of Esau, who told you you can be sexually liberated. You can sleep with who you want. He gave you a new identity and a new philosophy, and you abandoned that of which Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah has given you in instruction. Okay? So therefore, that's the punishment for it. That's why you go on Fly and World Star Hip Hop. You see these little nigga kids, these 2/3 nigga children, getting shot on Facebook Live. You got your Nia Wilsons, you know, and the likes of, getting stabbed in the neck. Getting found chopped up in the woods somewhere. Gadding abroad in her liberty. When that's not a precept nor a concept for the lifestyle that should be lived by the daughters of Zion. Okay? Shouldn't be out here like that. But let me continue. 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 22. Let the multitude perish then, which has been born in vain, and let my grape be kept in my plant. For with great labor have I made it perfect. What's the multitude then? Okay? Concerning Yasharallah, the multitude is the 2/3. A lot of these bastard kids, a lot of their mothers, a lot of their 2/3 daddies. Okay? That's the multitude. It was all born in vain. But let my grape be kept in my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Okay? The grape is the elect. The grape is the elect in the 1/3. And the plant is Yasharallah. Okay? For Yahweh said, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Yahweh's putting in a lot of work on the elect and on the prophets and the apostles, even in a lot of these camps, even these brothers in the camps, to bring us into the truth and to keep trying to seal the elect. Because it's all through the Spirit. It's all Yahweh really putting in the work, and we are just vessels. Okay? So he's going to spare his 1/3 and his elect, 144,000. But the multitude is going to die. The multitude of Jacob is going to die. It is what it is. You got to accept it. And one of the major reasons why, as I've been reading to you in Wisdom of Solomon, is because the beds in which they were made were unlawful. Okay? I like to look at it to give you an example. Okay? Let me give you an example. If we all took biology in school, I surely did, you learn about the Punnett square. Yeah, the Punnett square with dominant and recessive traits. Okay? And you know, when you have these 4 boxes in a square and you measure out the dominant and recessive traits from each parent, you can pretty much see how the offspring of the parents will turn out biologically. Now look at that in the spiritual. If you got a 2/3 nigger woman, okay, and she's mating with a 2/3 nigger-like man, the offspring is more than likely going to be a 2/3 as well. Granted, there are exceptions. Even if we look at Father Abraham, his father was wicked. He built idols. His father Terah, but Yahweh called Abraham. That's neither here nor there, for that was established before the beginning to happen. But in general, if you look at the Punnett square spiritually, man, you have a lot of our women who are not in the spirit, who are not in order, and they're seeking out the likewise. A lot of men who are not in order. You understand? And if we really look at it and meditate on it, it's also written that a wife is given to a man according to his righteousness. Essentially, I'm not quoting, but it's in there. It's in Sirach. You know? So a lot of these jakes, and I just also read the parallel to that, a precept to that, in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 11. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable and their hope is vain. Their labors are unfruitful and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Same thing. Simple niggas have simple children. Because they're not living according to the statutes, laws, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. And if he's not living by it, he's not leading his wife to live by it, because a woman can't do it on her own. She has to be led. She's been created to follow. A woman's supposed to follow the lead. You understand? The problem is that they're following Big Daddy State, which is Esau, and these 2/3 niggas. Okay? So that's why the multitude is going to perish, as I read in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 22. Okay? And hopefully that gives you some insight on that spiritual Punnett square I was talking about. Okay? Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. That's a deep one. Okay? Who's leading 70% of the homes amongst Jake? These mothers. Come on now, it's just the truth now. Okay? So women are ruling over the households and over the children. And according to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12 says, they which lead thee cause thee to err. A lot of these mothers are causing their children to err, man. Passing their children through the fire of paganism. Not indoctrinating them in the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh ahchyam, Yahweh Shai. I mean, that's a man's role anyway. To instill that in his children. You know? But who was leading these women? Causing them to err? Esau. These women are Edomized and Babylonianized, as well as these 2/3 Negalites. These 2/3 Negalite men. They Edomized and Babylonianized, they westernized, their minds are destroyed. Okay? And what are the heirs? What are the heirs? Okay? So these children are being ruled over by women, as well as these men. Okay? And the state, Babylon, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and his philosophies, is ruling over these women, leading them, and it's causing them to err. This is what Willie Lynch was all about. Re-indoctrinating the so-called black race. Re-indoctrinating them. This is why Willie Lynch said it would work 1,000 years after slavery. Because they know the importance of a nuclear family. Because if you have a strong family, you have strong offspring. Okay? We have multiple families that are in a nuclear setting, according to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh ahchyam, Yahweh Shai. Then what do you have? A strong neighborhood. You have a bunch of strong neighborhoods. You have a strong community. You have a bunch of strong communities. You have a strong nation. Esau sold you woman a lie. Okay? Now what are the heirs? The serpent's philosophies, aka government and philosophies of the whore of Babylon. And you women cleave to it. A lot of you women cleave to it. And a lot of you 2/3 niggas cleave through it too, man. Y'all cleave to all this too, man. We gotta dump Babylon. Revelation 18:4. Depart from her or receive of her plagues. We know that Yahweh ahchyam, Yahweh Shai is going to deliver a remnant of his children. But this great tribulation is really a judgment to the nations. Babylon will be judged. It will be destroyed and be thrown down as Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. It's going to be hit with thermonuclear fire. It's the truth. It's going to happen. And it's going to be hit with a lot of other things. Okay? And the only way you can be delivered from that is if you depart from Babylon. So you got to depart from what? Esau's philosophies. You got to get away from it. Because it is Esau's philosophy that turned the black community, the so-called black community, into a matriarchy. Which now we see these young brothers, they run around faggots, sodomites, and their young daughters as whores. And then, you know what? They're having children. So what does that say? Okay? This is why 70% of the women in Atlanta are HIV positive, man. There's no order. There's no order. The bed is defiled. Okay? And I'm exposing it. Okay? What are some of the other errors from Isaiah 3:12? They which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past. What are some of the other errors that we are being led by as a people collectively, at least 2/3 of our people, that are destroying the way of our past? Feminism. Okay? That was introduced by the Rothschilds and the banking elite. For what? They funded it to destroy the way of our past, to destroy our nuclear family. It was all systemic, and a lot of the sisterhood still don't get it. A lot of them are going to die in these times to come, when the darkness covers the land, and it's like the purge out here, which is about to happen. You know, they're talking about this EMP. We know this judgment's about to come. A lot of you jakes are going to die. It's just the truth. Okay? And it starts back with the bed being defiled, because the bed is where the fruit of the womb spawns from. Okay? We got to have righteous relationships. And that, you know what I mean? And it all falls down to following the law, statutes, and precepts of Yahweh ahchyam, Yahweh Shai. But like I said, feminism is one of the errors, which includes no-fault divorce, sexual liberation, and woman being the head over the man, while oppressing the men through their children. Through what? Child support. You know? It is what it is. That is not the way Yahweh ahchyam, Yahweh Shai set it up. That is not, a child support cannot compensate for a man in the house, especially a man of the Lord. Okay? And if it was enough, then why is our nation in decline? Why every time I go on Fly High, the World Star Hip Hop, I see abominations amongst the sons and daughters of Yasharala? Okay? Because y'all producing more 2/3 niggas. It's like it's like Esau has a Babylon factory, and our people is working there. I'm not gonna say our people, our woman, man, is working for that factory and just popping out 2/3 niggas out their ass and indoctrinating them with the philosophies of Esau, teaching their sons how to twerk, all types of abominations, man. And that's why Yahweh was gonna have to kill y'all, man. He's gonna have to purge the house of Yasharala because our people are sexually defiled. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Why is this so? Why? Why do we see this? Okay? Because this law is not being implemented because there's no fathers to implement it. You know? And I'm gonna lean on the men too. A lot of these brothers are out of pocket, but a lot of these brothers was raised by their mothers. This has been going on for over 50 years now, and it's trickling down in the chicks come home to roost. We understand. We see the results of sexual liberation, of the ability to have abortions, the no-fault divorce, and the woman being the head over the households, with the state being the father. And the state tells your son he can be a sodomite, and the state tells your daughter she can be a whore. And it is a perpetual destruction that has afflicted Jacob through the bed being defiled. Let's go to Sirach chapter 23, verse 22 to 28. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. So this is what it's going to go for a woman that leaves her husband and has children with another man. Verse 23. For first, she hath disobeyed the law of the Most High. And secondly, she hath trespassed against her own husband. And thirdly, she hath played the whore in adultery and bought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Lord. It is great glory to follow the Lord, and to be received of him is long life. Okay? That was Sirach chapter 22. Salakia, pardon that. That was Sirach chapter 23, verses 22 through 28. It is unlawful for you woman to have multiple children by different men. You are playing the whore in adultery. Okay? That's what it is. And you see that all the time. I don't get on Facebook much these days because it's too many fake, phony Hebrew Israelites on Facebook in these groups. A lot of these men in these groups are simps, and they don't edify anything. And it's really a lot of it is really woman worship that's still going on. It's like the same Christianity spirit in these Hebrew groups. You know, they acquiesce and worship these women. A lot of these simp ass 2/3 niggas who claim to know that they're Hebrews and have these groups, they be thirsting after these women. There's a woman that I see in one of these groups all the time. She's constantly dating and looking for a husband, in the truth. And she's not a bad looking woman, you know, but she has 3 kids. You know, she makes it known in all her pictures. And I used to tell the sister, why don't you seek reconciliation with your husband, with the man, with the father of those children? Oh, no. See, when you women make excuses, and Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai don't deal with excuses, man. Neither does the man of the Lord. You got to be accountable, man. You know, she's like, oh, no, it's not going to work. He's not in the truth. Then I'll bring it up, and I'm going to get to it. Where I don't think it's in Corinthians. I might be wrong. But where the unbelieving wife or the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the believing wife or the believing husband. You could be sealing your partner. So how can you proclaim to be in the truth? Leave him after having 3 kids, probably got him on child support, oppressing him through his children, and then you out here looking for another simp, another man. The Lord is not going to give you a man of the Lord because that's out of order. You're playing the whore and adultery. And I showed you how phony a lot of these women are. Okay? And I warned you, there's going to be a cut on the woman because our communities is ran by our black, so-called black community is led and ran by the woman. So you got to take some accountability in this. Okay? And that's just what it's going to be. Verse 25 from Sirach chapter 23. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. This is why your children ain't shit. This is why your children are thugs and whores. This is why your children are dying, getting shot by the police. This is why your children are gang banging. This is why your children, we just got to keep it real. Go to any predominantly black, red zone, matriarchal project, and it's not somewhere you want to be comfortable. You're not comfortable out there. I'm not. Why would I want to be around a bunch of nigger-minded niggas, 2/3 minded niggas? Okay, and I'm saying it like that because that's what it is. They're not real Israelite women. They're not real daughters of Zion. They don't conduct themselves as sons of Zion. They are lawless. They are the lawless, multiplying brood. Okay, it is destructive. And the children shall not take root, and her branches shall not show forth no fruit, man. And that's exactly what we see. Okay, now let me continue. Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, Yahweh ahchyam Yahweh Shah. I will also forget thy children. Yahweh ahchyam Yahweh Shah is turning his face from a lot of these children, man, because you're not teaching them the laws, the statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man. It's supposed to come out your mouth daily, when you rise, when you go to sleep, all throughout the day. In every way, you're supposed to be teaching your children about the Lord. And you're not doing that. That's not what's going on. Because your sons are sodomites, and you're raising them to be faggots. And you're cool with it. It's the truth, because I see it. We live in an age of information, and we see it online. You watching your sons twerk, putting wigs on your sons, effeminizing your sons, emasculating your sons, ripping the masculinity out of them, beating the shit out of them, teaching your daughters how to twerk, making your daughters record you twerking, teaching them how to be whores. So since you've forgotten the law of Yahweh ahchyam Yahweh Shah, he will forget your children, man. And a lot of you going to see in Jacob's trouble, a lot of y'all going to see your children get put to death. It's the truth. A lot of your children are going to get put to death by NATO troops, FEMA troops, martial law, and UN troops, the DHS. A lot of your children are going to get fucked up, man. There's going to be a purge in the house of Yasharallah, and it is coming, and it is needed. And the righteous grieve because of the state of our people, man. I grieve because of our people, man. You know? And we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to keep it rolling.